Obviously, it's 4th of July. We're going to talk about fireworks today. We're also going to talk about how dangerous these fireworks are. Just because they're legal doesn't mean they're not dangerous. And that's what we're going to talk about. First up today is Councilman Noah Kalski from District 7. He's going to have a few words for everybody.
Well, first of all, thank you for being out here. As chair of the Public Safety Veterans Subcommittee, it's so important to preach safety, especially during these cheerful holiday season. Even though fireworks are permitted, there's some that aren't, and it's so important that we as parents educate ourselves on what fireworks are permissible and which ones aren't. The other thing too is that kids love to run around with those sparklers. If you think about it, sparklers are over 1,000 degrees of temperature. That's like 3 barbecue grills. Would you allow your children to carry around a barbecue grill? No. So it's really, fire is very, very dangerous. We should leave it up to the professionals, and that's what today's all about, is to educate individuals about fireworks, how dangerous they are, and especially you parents. In 2013, there was over 11,000 cases within the United States of emergency situations where people were rushed to the emergency room during the 4th of July. So we want to make sure that we can cut that down to 0. And that's what today's all about, is prevention, prevention, prevention. So before buying those fireworks, get educated. Look on the website. You can go to phoenix.gov/fire and look up what's permissible and educate yourselves before you allow your children or yourselves to use fireworks. And I pass it on to our inspector here. Thank you, Inspector.
So next person up today is Dr. Kevin Foster. He's with the Arizona Burn Center at Maricopa Integrated Health Systems.
Good morning. Thank you very much. My name is Kevin Foster. I work at the Arizona Burn Center. And we have the unfortunate task of taking care of people, mostly kids, who get injured while celebrating the 4th of July. There's no such thing as a safe firework. Anything that can burn or anything that gets warm, anything that explodes can cause damage to people. And each year we admit anywhere from just a few to dozens of people who've been burned or injured because of fireworks. And just because fireworks are legal doesn't mean that they are safe. The vast majority of injuries that we see are not from the big exploding fireworks, but from very small, innocuous fireworks that are legal. Things like sparklers and the little poppers. As I said before, anything that burns or explodes can cause a fairly substantial injury, especially in a young person. And once certain areas are injured, such as a hand or a face, they can never be uninjured. And sometimes the injuries and the resulting disabilities are permanent. So, over this holiday weekend, I encourage everybody to celebrate Happy Birthday, America, but let's try and do it without any fireworks at all. Please save the fireworks to the professionals. If you do use fireworks, please observe your children very, very closely and recognize that the quality control that goes into manufacturing fireworks is much less than what we would have it be, and there's no such thing as a safe firework. So let's have a good, safe holiday weekend. Thank you very much.
It is 4th of July, and there are permissible fireworks you can go buy at the stores, at the tents. What we're still recommending is, just because they're legal and they're available, not to use them. They are still very dangerous. Go to the great shows that we have around the valley that are done by professionals. Those are going to be some great shows, and then you keep all your kids safe. If you do want to use permissible fireworks, many safety rules that we want to make sure we keep in mind. First things first, make sure they are legal fireworks, that they are the permissible ones. Make sure you have adult supervision. Do it away from any houses or combustible material. Make sure you're on concrete or dirt. Make sure you have a water supply nearby in case something does go wrong and you're able to actually put out that firework or put out that fire. But we still want to stress that just because they're permissible, they are seriously dangerous. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of demonstrations of how dangerous these fireworks are. Some are going to be the permissible type, and some are going to be the illegal type. The first thing that we're going to do is show you how hot a sparkler can get and what the damage it can cause on your hand if you were to touch it or touch it to your eye. Sparklers are legal, but they burn very, very hot. So if they were to touch your skin like that, look at the burn. It actually catches on fire a little bit. Imagine if your little child was touching that. Imagine if your child was touching somebody else's, someone's face, someone's eye, the damage that could be inflicted. And that's what we want people to understand. Just because sparklers are legal, they are still very, very dangerous. Next thing we're going to demonstrate is something that's an illegal firework, that's not permissible. It's basically going to be a mortar that this is what happens if you don't know that it's going off or has a short fuse or isn't made correctly. This is what could happen if that mortar actually were to blow up in your hand. So this is a mortar. This is what would happen if they were to go off in your hand. As you see, the hand goes entirely away. So let's say you're holding that. Let's say you're holding it tight and it went off before you were expecting it. Your whole hand could be missing at that point. And that's the dangers of these illegal fireworks. That one right there is not legal anytime in the state of Arizona or in the city of Phoenix. So this is an illegal firework. This is a mortar. And right there, that's the problem with illegal fireworks, that you never know how they're made. So now what do? Let's say this happens to you. You're actually using permissible fireworks and it actually does not go off. You want to wait at least 15 minutes before you go near it. And then once you do that, you're going to throw it in a bucket of water for another 5-10 minutes, and then you can actually throw it away. So next thing we're going to show is permissible fireworks, that this is what happens if it goes on near brush, your house, your awning, and those type of items. So basically this is our little mock demonstration of a house. We have some brush that are next to it, and we're going to light off something that's legal. All this is a ground fountain or ground sparkler. So as you can see, once we light that, it starts shooting sparks and flames out. So even though it stays on the ground, this is all permissible fireworks, but this is also very dangerous. So as you can see right now, it just caught the brush on fire. So imagine you did that next to your house or on your patio. Now all of a sudden, now you actually have a real fire going on. And look at now, it's going to start extending outside of your shelter and onto your house. This is the danger of permissible fireworks. Just because they're legal doesn't mean that they're not dangerous. That's why we tell you, do these permissible fireworks away from anything that's combustible or flammable to make sure that we don't catch your house on fire or catch your yard on fire. So we're going to try the mortar again in the watermelon. Basically what this is going to show us is that if this mortar were to go off near you, on you, in your hand, this is the damage that could occur to you or someone near you. So imagine if that went off right next to you, or imagine if it went off in your hand. Imagine the damage that would actually have been occurred to you, and that's the stuff that we want to stress today. Permissible fireworks are still dangerous, but illegal fireworks are very, very dangerous. So even if you buy them legally in other states or in other countries and bring them to Arizona, they're still illegal.